सुप्रभात। ओ ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुवे नमः। ॐ प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुत आत्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखं परमहंस गतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजाग्रत्सुषुप्तिमवेति नित्यम् तत् ब्रह्म निष्कल्मषं न च भूतसङ्गः। प्रातर्भजामि मनसा वचसामगम्यम् वाचो विभान्ति निखिलाय दनुग्रहेण यन्नेति नेति वचने निजमबुचु तं देवदेवमजम् अच्युतम् अभृग्यम्। प्रातर्नमामि तमसा परमर्कवर्णम् पूर्णसनातनपदं पुरुषोत्तमाख्यम् यस्मिन् इदं जगदशेषमशेषमूर्तौ रज्ज्वां भुजङ्गमिव प्रतिभासितं वै प्राणस्येदं वसे सर्वं धृतिवेदप्रतिष्ठितम् मातेव पुत्रान् रक्षस्व शिवश्च प्रणमश्च विधिनेहि। हरि ओम। प्रदीप जी शुभ।
ॐ नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्माङ्गरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय मन्दाकिनी सलिलचन्दनचर्चिताय नन्दीश्वरप्रमथनाथ महेश्वराय मन्दारपुष्पबहुपुष्पसुपूजिताय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय शिवाय वदनाब्जवृन्द सूर्याय दक्षध्वरनाशकाय श्रीनीलकण्ठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै शिकाराय नमः शिवाय वसिष्ठकुम्भोद्भवगौतमादि मुनीन्द्रदेवार्चित शेखराय चन्द्रार्कवैश्वानरलोचनाय तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय यज्ञस्वरूपाय जटाधराय पिनाकहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय पञ्चाक्षरमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति शिवेन सह मोदते।
हरि ओम। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज। अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचि। I will go for the recital of Gita, verses 21 to 29. But since continuity establishes from 20th, we'll start from verse 20. ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। नवमो अध्याय। भगवान वाच त्रैविद्यामासोमपापूत पापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान्। ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मृत्युलोकं विशन्ति। एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते। अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्। येऽप्यन्ये देवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्ते अविधिपूर्वकम्। अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां मुक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च वन्ति ते। यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मध्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्तिप्रतं प्र अश् प्र भक्तिप्रतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदुष्णासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तप्स्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्मदपर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपश्यति सम्मोहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे देशोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेषु दुराचारः भजन्ते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् विवसतु हि स ॐ तत्सत्। हरि ओम् We move on with the recap section for the today.
Hari Om all. Last week, we looked at verses number 20 and 21. So the verses 20 and 21 focused on about the Sakama Bhaktas. That means the people or the devotees who devote themselves in the worship of Lord with desires, basically. So the summary of that is, I mean, there is no, Gurudev says there's nothing wrong in invoking through, the ritualistic methods as prescribed in the Vedas. At the end of the day, they also burn the negative tendency and help to purify the mind. And but that the prayers are offered, the desire is to go to the heaven. So they go to the heaven or the Lord of with Indraloka, what we call. But it's like going to a resort with a certain amount of money with you. So once that money is exhausted, you have to come back to the transactional world again. Again, you repeat this. So this kind of going back and forth always happens. So it's called the Sakama Bhakti. So it's something to pray with the desires. So what happens in this is at the end of the day, the reward is basically the samsara only, right? So because you go experience the heaven and then you come back. So that's the that was a summary, and nice discussion happened actually. Pradeep ji, Hariom, thank you very much, because you really kindled our interest in learning the verses through proper understanding of Sanskrit and the Sanskrit meaning. You went verse by word, I mean word by word, and explained to us. And then Nanduji talked about, he always talks about the Varkari Sampradaya in every week's class, and he explained that the significance of, the Nama Parade Sadhana. He basically, that's what the Varkari sect is about. Like they talk about Nama, they always chant Bhagavan Nama to keep that in mind. That's their end goal, actually. And then Meenakshi was talking about how we brought up in a very transactional way in our childhood. Like we always pray to God to get something back. I do 100 and, for example, I do 108 parikrama around your temple, but I need to get good marks in exams, like that. So it was always that's how we brought up. And then Maniji has also talked about how even in meditation, what's our thought process. And Umesh ji raised a question about what is this Swargaloka is mentioned in this shloka. If your soul goes to Swarga, do we need a body and all that? So, but I think for that, Pradeep ji gave a wonderful explanation. Dr. Jadhav ji gave a very wonderful explanation in the end, as usual, about what is this Sorgologa is. It's not something, it is part of a universe, but nothing beyond it. But within the universe is a different level of experience, so it's not like a place. I mean, it's an experience in ourselves that one has to experience. So for that, probably you don't need a body. So it's that's how the the discussion went last week. But now we move on to this next verse, Ananya Chintayan Toma, which is more about the Nishkama Bhakta, the people with, what happened if you play desire. That should be the end goal for the to attain liberation. So the reward is much more. So that's the crux of this week discussion, and I'm looking forward to it. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Before we move with this week's discussion, there's an announcement to be made. So Swami Anukulanji is coming to Dubai on 16th and 17th for the CIRS, and our class is fortunate that we will have his accompany on next Saturday. So this will be a physical class which will be at Balaji's house. I think it is Balaji, right, Jairamji? 107 Ria Tower, and whoever wants to attend this physically can be available. Can go there from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The class will be there, followed by the breakfast bhiksha. And Swamiji will conduct the session after our invocation is completed, and from around 7:10 to 8:30 on chapter 9, and after 8:30 to 9 there will be a Q&A session. So this will be the format for the next week. So we are fortunate, and we will be having this company next week. So this was the announcement part. Now we move on with the class. So Nagaraj ji, please.
Mario, Manish, you will.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So verse 22 and 23, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Give me a second. Sir.
Yeah. Sure.
अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. Yes, Nagaraj, you can start.
You can do the Sanskrit word and the English, this one also, because I can't read Sanskrit.
Okay. Or then give me 1 second. Anya, without others, chinta, thinking, mam, me, ye, who, jana, men, paryupasate, worship, tesham, of them, nitya, abhyuktanam, of the ever self-controlled or steadfast, yoga, the supply of what is not already possessed, shayam, preservation of what is already possessed, vahami, carry, aham, I. Yes, now you can.
Yeah. Mario, to those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, to those ever self-controlled, I assure for them that which is not already possessed by them, yoga, and preserve for them what they already possess, shema. Here is a stanza which, with equal emphasis, discloses a secret by which glorious success can be assured for the spiritual as well as the material seekers. It is significant that this stanza is almost in the center of the Gita. We shall try to follow the implications, both spiritual as well as secular, of this stanza one by one. Those who, with a single pointed mind, thus meditate upon Him as the one and only reality behind the entire universe, Krishna promises here that to them ever self controlled, I bring yoga and shema. meaning more and more spiritual vigor, yoga, and the final experience of beatitude, shema, which is liberation resulting from the fulfilled yoga. Now, considering it as a tip for the men in the marketplace, sweating and toiling in the world, the very stanza yields a code of secret instructions by which they can assure for themselves complete success in their volatility, in their worldly life. In any undertaking, if a man is capable of pouring out a self-willed thought, sankalpa, constantly and with a singleness of purpose, he is sure to succeed. But unfortunately, the ordinary man is not capable of successfully keeping his thoughts in one channel of thinking. Therefore, his goal seems to be ever receding and flickering. His determination to achieve a particular goal ever changes, since his goal itself seems to be ever changing. To such a man of haphazard determination, no progress is ever possible in any line of undertaking. The greatest tragedy of the age seems to be that we ignore the obvious fact that thoughts alone create. Activities gain a potency when the thought power that feeds them. When the feeder behind is choked and dissipated, the execution power in the external activities become feeble in strength and efficiency. Thoughts from a single pointed mind must flow steadily in full inspiration, enthusiasm, and vigor towards the determined goal which the individual has chosen for himself in life. Mere thinking in itself is not sufficient. No doubt, actions are necessary. Many of the present day youths, though capable of consistently maintaining a goal of life in their mindset, in their intellect, are not ready to get into the field and act as best as they can be for its achievement. The word upasana means worship. Through worship, we invoke the deity, meaning the profit potential in any given field, and the prefix pari to this familiar term upasana indicates a total effort in which no stone is left unturned for carving out one's victories in one's field of endeavor. So far, two main secret factors without which success in life will not be assured are revealed: consistency of willing and thinking, and pouring out ourselves with a singleness of purpose in meeting these situations in its entirety. The third main factor that is essential in the constitution of one who is marked out for spectacular success and brilliant gains in life is self control. As an aspiring individual, consistently maintaining his ambition in mind, walks out into his field of activity to battle with the immediate problems, he will meet with many a tempting channel of more fascinating plans through which he can dissipate himself and get exhausted, rendering himself incapable of conquering the highest success in his own field. To keep oneself self controlled so that one may not thus get derailed as one shoots forward to reach the temple of success is a third great factor that has to be kept in mind and lived fully in order that success in life can be assured. The terms yoga and shema, defined as a power to gain and the power to guard, respectively, by Shankara in his commentary, are quite applicable in the context of our discussion. In life, all conflict and contests are struggles and sorrows, whatever be the form in which they may appear, are always different from individual to individual, from place to place, and from time to time, and all of them distinctly fall into two groups, as the struggles to gain, the efforts to guard that might have been gained. These two tensions stare into the joy and tranquility of life. He who is without these two preoccupations is the luckiest, in the sense that he has gained all that is to be gained. And when these two factors are totally bolted from one's life, one is dead to the world of sorrows, and one awakens to the world of joy imperishable. It is promised here by the Lord that to the one who is capable of maintaining the three factors described above and pursuing them diligently, There will be no anxiety to gain nor worry to guard, because these two responsibilities will be voluntarily undertaken by the Lord Himself. Here, the term Lord may be understood as the law of behind the world of plurality and the happenings therein. When the water is let out from the height of purpose for irrigating the lower plains, we have only to allow it to flow it in the right direction to reach the required area, and nature itself will carry it down, for it is the law of nature that water always flows from a higher to a lower level. Similarly, here, to one who is working, fulfilling the three great laws pertaining to the physical, mental, and intellectual disciplines, success shall dog the heels of such a careful ruler of circumstances. Opening up a new section to discuss the misguided worshippers who adore at the altars of the deities that preside over finite material gains, the following is said. Anishji?
Yes. येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त अविधिपूर्वकम्. ये who अपि even अन्य देवताः other gods भक्त devotees yajante worship shraddhaya with faith vinth endowed they api also mam me eva alone kaunteya o kaunteya yajanti worship avidhipurvakam by wrong method.
Even those devotees who endowed with faith worship other gods, worship me alone, O son of Kunti, but by the wrong method. All the people in the world do not worship at the same altar. Not only is this physically impossible, but it is psychologically absurd since tastes differ from person to person. The devotees during their respective worship at the different altars adore the same vitality that is the substratum for the created world of change. Even when they worship different deities, if their devotion is sufficiently reinforced with perfect faith, they are invoking nothing but the one eternal truth expressed through the form of their adoration. When once we accept the infinite reality as one without a second, remaining the same in the past, present, and future, it is evident that the self, as the consciousness that expresses through the equipments of all saints and sages, prophets, and incarnations of the past, is the one and the same. Toleration is the very breath of Hindu creed, and we have already discussed earlier how non-dualist accepting the absolute as an infinite cannot but be tolerant. Intolerance is the creed of those who accept a single prophet as God. Even amongst Hindus, all those who worship as members of a particular creed or sect are generally found to be unrelenting fanatics. Some crude examples are even noticed when a devotee of one deity believes that to the utter blasphemies against the deities of others is the adoration of their own beloved Lord. These are mere preservations, obnoxious and vulgar, which have no sanction in the Bible of the Hindus and anywhere in the cultural tradition initiated by the rishis. The large-heartedness and the endless love in the worship of Krishna makes him declare that they too worship me alone, even though by wrong methods. Stanza viewed as an instruction for the external life in the workaday world suggests that instead of seeking the infinite profit of the bliss of selfhood, those devotees who are trying to invoke those limited gains in the different fields of human activity are also invoking the grace of the self only by the wrong method. Even the most sensuous, when he is planning to earn, to save and to spend so that he can procure, possess, and enjoy sensuous objects, are invoking the dormant capacities that lie in the self on him. Sans self, none will be able to act either negatively or positively. Even in the case of a suicide, A person is invoking life in as much as even in the act of raising a weapon against himself is misusing the grace of manifested life in himself. In this context, the phrase by the wrong method only indicates that ultimately it leads the seekers to the wells of dejection and sorrow that lie in the darkness of the not self, instead of leading to the bliss of perfection, which is the nature of self. Hariom, I've been slightly held up and not organized enough to share my points of view. But rest assured, I'll put into writing and I'll make up for all the time lost. Hariom. Manish ji.
Hari Om. So again, before we enter into the discussion, so just one more time, this next week's class will be held physically at 107 Riha Tower. I will put the address over there. But at the same time, the online version of the class will continue as usual. So all those who will not be able to go to the Riha Tower can always attend here and take the benefit of Swami Anulanji's discourse on the chapter 9. Okay, we move on with the current discussion now. And Rajendran ji, would you like to share your views today?
Hari Om. Last week we have discussed Traividyamam Somabhuda Papaha Yajnairishtvas Surgadim Prapyende Te Punyamasadya Surendra Logam Ashnandi Divyan Divi Deva Bhoga Te Tam Bhuktva Surgalogam Vishalam Shine Punye Martya Logam Vishandi Evam Trayi Dharma Manuprapanna Gadagadam Kama Kama Lebante. Actually, our Vedanta Shastra, Sanatana Dharma spirituality is taking two routes. One is Vaidikam, the other is Tantrikam. The last couple of stanzas is highlighting that what about going through the Tantric Marga? That is Trividya. Is whatever yajna and anushtana is prescribed in Vedas. What is the result? That has been discussed here. It is maximum Surga Sukham, the pleasures of heaven. That is what is maximum available from this anushtana or the rituals like yaga. There is a limitation. So what is going to happen after that? You have to come out of that heaven. Shene punye martya logam vishanti. Then again you have to perform karma to get again that Surgaloka. This is the then Gadagadam Kama Kama Labante. You coming and going. Punarabi Jananam, Punarabi Maranam, Punarabi Janani, Jadare Shayanam, Iha Samsare, Bahudustare, Kripaya Pare, Pahimurare. This is Bhagavad Bhajagondani says. So the ultimate mission of the life has not been will not be attained by following these principles, this Vaidika Dharma. Although the mission of both is same, limitations are there in following the rituals. You will maximum attain the Surga Loga, not beyond that. But now the question is the purpose of our life, is the mission of life to get the Surga Loga? No, it is not. That is highlighted here. Now, then what is our Brahma Sutra is describing Adhado Brahma Jitnyasa. That particular first sutra is beginning from this point because Adaha Brahma. Therefore, we will have for Brahma Jitnyasa, we will learn what is Brahma Jitnyasa. Therefore, means after having done something, what is that something? This Trividya, this following the rituals and uh, yagas and homas, etc. You will get maximum Surga Sugam. not beyond that. Then what we do? Brahma Jijnasa. We will go for the knowledge, we will try to get the knowledge of Brahma. That is the first stanza that we are learning in Brahma Sutra. So now Bhagavan coming to the next step. Ananyas chintayantoma ye jana paryupasate. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam vahamyaham. Ye, sorry. Ye janaha mam ananya chintayantaha paryupasate. Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam yogatshemam aham vahami. That is the crude Anvaya. We are learning Sanskrit, so I thought I will put Anvaya first. So that is, so what does that mean? It is mentioned clearly here. To those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, to those ever self-controlled, I secure for them that which is not already possessed, yoga, and preserve for them what they already possessed. So yoga kshema, or LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, has their got their that corporate title. I don't know whether you have noticed it. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. That is in the corporate the thing, but we are not concerned about it. They have chosen it, this particular wordings from Bhagavad Gita. Here, if you Upasada is the key word. If we can see Lord everywhere and worship Him in that way, which is there is no, which in short it says that there is no duality, only single-minded. The point is here single-minded worship to the Lord. And what happens then? For those people, Bhagavan himself will take care of his yoga. Means whatever has not been obtained by him, which he actually needs, that will be secured by him, and whatever he has earned will be preserved by him. All that he needs to do is to worship the Lord all around. Ananyas chindayam. With anya chinda, no anya chinda, it is ananya chinda. This word has to be identified properly. Ananya chinda means without anya chinda, without other thoughts, single pointedly. So this is the gist of this poem. We need to concentrate single pointedly with and worship Bhagavan. So coming to next stanza. Now we are talking about other devatas, but majority of the people are the type that they prefer to worship many devatas. For example, for Vidya, Saraswati is there. For to remove the obstacles, or Vigneshwara is there. So plenty of gods are there. So according to our worship, according to our need, we worship different deities. But Bhagavan says, if you do so, and then yepi anya devata bhakta, anya devata bhakta, kaunteya ye bhaktaah yajante anya devataah shraddhaya अन्विता te abhi mam eva aviti purvagam yajanti. If they do that, if they worship different gods, they are indirectly worshipping me, but not only indirectly, inappropriately, not in order. The way I prefer to be worshipped me, they are not doing in that way. Even though they are worshipping in that way, different way, they are worshipping me only. So this is what Bhagavan, but we have to take care of that. This inappropriate worship is not proper. Actually, that will not eliminate our dukkha. So what we need to is worship the Lord the way Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshamam Vahamyam. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you, Rajendranji. Move on with the discussion. Bhuvanji, would you like to share your views?
Hari Om Manishji. I will just share the very first sloka and the what do you call the my understanding and the Vishesh Bhav in that sloka. So the Ananyas Chintanto Ma Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Hari Om to everybody. So in this sloka, Lord is telling the quality of his devotees with respect to the desire-prone Vedic devotees worshipping small God. Gurudev also feel here. Gurudev talked about the small God. Because a lot of us are like are going to these lords for our desires. So Lord's devotee neither accept the Indra, none other or the other deities. Now, obviously, Indra, when the Indra word is come, is basically the Indra is the ruler of the mind, and the mind is the whole discussion about the senses. So basically, we go to these devotees because we have a specific task to be done. Now, we all go to them with desire. Specific fruits are given to these devotees. But when we go to the Lord, we get the unlimited result. Ananyas Chintayanto Ma Yedana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. So Ananya, as rightly Rajendra has said, that none other than, and one good word also to learn this is Anusuya Mata, who was following without deviating even from the past. So that's how the word Anusuya has come. So the one who worship the deities are like laborers. That's a view I got from the saint. The people who are worshipping the other gods are like laborers, and as the laborer got their limited wages, they receive their limited fruits when they worship the other deity. Whereas the Lord devotee are like the members of the family, because when a member of family works, he gets the everything. He doesn't have to be he doesn't get the limited fruit, whether from the father or the mother. He gets everything of what they own, and they inherit everything from them. So Ananya Bhakta is the one. So now Manas also has talked about it. Uttam ki asbas man mahi sapne hu an purush jagnahi. Ananya Bhakta is the one. In his eyes, there is only one satta and none other than the God. Now, the second very important the phrase or the shlokas, the wordings are Yogakshema Vahamyam. So Lord is saying that I will arrange the necessary sadhan, the means and the material cause, and once devotee gets it. So let's say I want a bigger house for the Lord, and once I got the bigger house, the bigger business, and the let's say bigger trust, but who will protect it? That is also a one thing where again the Lord comes and he says, even I will protect that. Because if you go to the top, you make a very good business, and the business purpose is to serve the people and not just the profit. And then who will protect it? So in this wording, Yogakshemam Vamyam, Lord is saying that I will even protect what you will achieve if it is all done for me. And the simple example Sant gave is that a cute child is not handled by the maid, but the cute child is taken care by the mother herself. Even so, the very good example is Bhagwan Krishna. Yashoda ji had lot of servants at home, lot of devotees at home, but she was taking care of the Lord Krishna herself. And that kind of devotees only the Lord comes, stays, and protect. Hari Om, I could prepare only the first shloka. Hari Om Maniji, thank you for giving the opportunity.
Hari Om. Move on with the class. Who would like to share their views now? Virendra ji, would you like to share your views today?
Hariom sir, please unmute. No?
Mute us himself.
Sorry. This is very, very important verse. Here, 2-3 words are to be taken into consideration prominently. Number one, Ananya. What is Ananya? It is not only single-mindedness. It is something else. Something else means there are two aspects to look into a certain thing, one from the subjective point of view and one from the objective point of view. So Ananya is objective point of view, say when you look at the God or the target, what may be, whatever it may be, then that should not be the other one. जैसे एक हिंदी में उदाहरण दूं, जैसे आप अगर कहीं एक स्थान पे जाते हैं तो आपका लक्ष्य होता है कि हमको इस मंदिर में जाना है, वहां पे और कई भी मंदिर हो सकते हैं, तो अगर आपके दिमाग में ये विकल्प है कि यहाँ भी चले जाएंगे, वहां भी चले जाएंगे, इनका भी दर्शन कर लेंगे, तो वो पर्पज नहीं है। यहाँ कहने का मतलब है कि आप बिल्कुल उसी चीज को एक तरफ लेके चले, अनन्य, अन्य को कंसिडरेशन नहीं हो, केवल सिंगल माइंडेड। अब यहाँ आप कहते हैं कि केवल उसी तरफ जाएं आप, उसी रास्ते से जाएं आप। तो ऐसी स्थिति में क्या होता है कि जो रास्ता भी बताना कि किस रास्ते से आप जा करके वहां पहुंचेंगे, और उस रास्ते में जो अड़चने भी आएंगी या वहां पे जो सुरक्षा की जरूरत होगी वो भी भगवान प्रदान करेंगे, यानी गाइड करेंगे, प्लेइंग द रोल ऑफ ए गाइड आल्सो इफ यू आर सिंसियरली इंटरेस्टेड इन गोइंग टू हिम, इन ट्राइंग टू बी विद हिम। ये मेरे कहने का मतलब था। थैंक यू।
हरिओम। प्रदीप जी।
Hariom. Manish ji, how many minutes I have? 5 minutes or more?
It depends upon how many other speakers we have, but you can take
Yeah.
up to 5 minutes. I'm okay.
Okay. So if I am crossing, please stop me because this is so exhaustive.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I think you and Meenakshi ji were very well prepared for these two verses last week, if I recollect correctly. I don't know. Or
No,
somebody
this
was
is a
prepared. I
very
am not
famous
sure.
verse.
Whoever is prepared, please raise your hand so that I am aware that these people can speak. And so, Pradeep, you please take your 5 minutes for now.
Okay, so Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Parivasade Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. So here it's very good. Our Rajendran ji is trying to use the Anvayam and all that. So we are learning Sanskrit. Even though there are no much responses, we are trying to to learn. So here in this, it's unfortunately we don't have many things what we have learned already. That is the Ekavajanam of this one particular Shabdam and all that. So here it is Ananya. Now at least we can try to see how to break the sentences. That Ananyas Chintayendo, that S has changed into, if you see the meanings, Ananyaha is written. Okay, Ananyaha. So Ananya, Ananyaha. So that S is changed into Visargam. So that is how it is becoming Ananyaha. Ananyaha Chintayantaha Mam. So that Mam is the Dvidiya Vibhakti of Aham. So Bhagavan is saying that to me, Mujhko, that way. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Ye means again Yaha. That Visargam, when it comes, it will become Yaha. Means whoever, he who ever is the one. Janaha, whoever people, pari upasate. whoever does the upasana, Tesham, to them, that is again all Bahuvachanam which we have not learned here. Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahami Aham. Aham Vahami. So that is Aham again is there, that is I. And Mam is to me. So these are the just. Now coming to the sloka, Gurudev is so elaborate on this. And Gurudev says this is a wondrous book. And this particular verse coming at the center of the Bhagavad Gita and considered as, the most important, or even though it is addressed for the ones whose complete attention is on the Lord, as the sannyasins, as Shankaracharya ji puts in. Gurudev brings a beautiful other aspect of it. That is the word meaning of Ananya itself. Gurudev says there are two aspects. One is those who worship me as not separate from me. That is that Advaita Bhava. And Ananya is one who worships me as none other, and or without his thoughts. So without any thoughts or anything, complete single pointed attention on me. So it is Dvaita Bhava, but there is no other distractions other than the Lord. So these are the two different meanings Gurudev has given here for the Ananya word. So now Gurudev says a religion is not complete unless it doesn't only give the direction or give the goal and what you have to achieve in life. That alone is not sufficient. How to do that also has to be explained. So then only it will become complete. So that is how it becomes a wondrous book. It is become an all-inclusive, by which you can learn the techniques to live here and the hereafter. So that is why Bhagavad Gita has that prominence of importance of, because not just talking about the abstract things, but to how to live here and work towards the hereafter or the ultimate. So in that aspect, Gurudev says, this verse gives the tip for the men in the marketplace. So what is that? That is what Gurudev gives elaboration on that. That is, Ananya is, Bhagavan puts three conditions here. First of all, Bhagavan says, what is your problem? We are all running after two things. One is something of our desire, what presently we do not have at this moment. To work towards it, we strive. At the same time, we have an anxiety of losing what we have. So these two things, that is the yoga and the kshema, what I don't have at the moment and what I have at the moment, but I'm scared of losing it. This is the kshema. So the yoga and the kshema, I will take care. Bhagavan gives an assurance. It's a promise from the God. Vahami, I carry your yoga and kshema. But there is a condition. Okay, I'll close now. The three conditions Bhagavan puts it. That is, one is Ananya Sindayantoma. That the consistency of purpose. What you are aiming at, you should have a consistency on that. Whether am I really want to pursue this path, that should be very firm in you. After having made the goal firm, you have to work towards it. That pariupasana. Upasana is the continuous thought, pouring out everything into it, whatever you can to achieve that one. So that is Pari Upasana. And Gurudev says Pari means it is a total effort. It is not just the effort, it is a total effort. So complete involvement into the activity which will lead you to the goal. And third is abhiyuktata, that is self-control. So when you want to do something, to achieve something, you need to take care of certain other aspects which don't distract it. Like for the exams, if you are to prepare for the exam, you should not go out and play and waste your time. So that self-control, naturally it has to come. So these three aspects, take care of, if you take care, you will, your yoga and kshema, I will take care. So that is this verse. And the next verse says that whichever is the worship, point of worship, ultimately it all comes back to me alone. Hari Om.
Meenakshi ji.
Hari Om. So, as Pradeep ji said, as Gurudev has mentioned, this verse is in the center of the Bhagavad Gita. So, it's the pendant in the necklace. And it's a very beautiful shloka, and also Gurudev's commentary has enhanced it even better. So, if you actually read any other's commentary, anyone else, they have mentioned the meaning of the shloka in a different aspect, like everybody else has spoken. And the way it is, so what is Lord saying? That Ananya Chinta, so basically you pray only to me with an undivided heart, not separate, not thinking of me as separate from your own self and without your thoughts. And then I will take care of your yoga and Shrema. I will take care of everything. So there are three stories. For example, there is, I don't know, I think Sanjay ji might be telling the name of the saint or Brahmin, whoever it is. There's a story that this shloka, it says that I will carry your yoga and Shema. And somebody was writing a commentary on it. And when he read that it is, I will carry the yoga and Shema, he cut that line and he said that how can God carry things for us? He's Lord. So he will grant it. And he cut that line. And obviously he was a Brahmin, so there was nothing there. His wife said that go out and get some food. And he went for his bhiksha. That day he did not get anything. Again, he was very upset that there's no food in the house. And when he came home, before he could come home, there's a boy who came to his wife, and he bought a lot of food for their house. And but the boy had a scratch on his back or on his tongue, I don't know where. And then the wife asked that, who did this to you? Thank you for all this food, but who did this to you? So the boy said, your husband did it. And the boy vanished. So when the husband came back, the wife asked, why did you do this to that boy? He bought all this food for you. And then the husband realized that actually it's Lord Krishna who came down, and I cut that word, I will grant, which is not right. And he changed it back to I will carry. So the Lord will come down and carry if we have the one-pointed mind towards him. That's one. Second is also, I think, Tulsidas, or one of the saint again. He got a lot of gifts and things from some merchant, and he had kept it in his house. He didn't want it, but he had kept it in his house. And then there were this robbers who saw it, and they thought that in the night we will rob Tulsidas's house. It may not be Tulsidas. I don't know who is one of the famous ones. And when they were coming in the night, they saw two very good-looking armed men who were strolling outside his house. Whole night they were strolling, and the robbers could not enter. And something changed in their disposition. In the morning, they went to Tulsidas and said, sorry, we were supposed to come and steal from you, but we could not, and we apologize for that. But we saw these two men who were walking around your house the whole night, the guards. Who are they? There's some different aura about them. Who are they? So Tulsidas suddenly felt very bad that Lord Ram and Lord Lakshman came down in the human form, and they were strolling outside my house just for the stupid wealth, and I don't want it. You take this wealth back. So later on, the robbers became their disciples. So this kind of stories are there, and Lord comes down to protect or be a servant for those people. That's what, there's one more story which is of security guard at the railway station. Uh, he goes every night to the railway, and he has to open the gates. And in that evening, he went to satsang, and he got so engrossed in the satsang that he could not go. And in the morning, he realized what he has done, and he feels guilty. So he goes back to his manager and says that, I'm sorry, I could not come. And the manager says, what are you talking? See, you've already signed. And he's shocked. So a Lord comes down, and see, these are stories which probably they're obviously true. It's just very, this is for very people who have a different disposition. Gurudev has brought this down to us. I'm sure that many people in this group who have different kind of disposition than me, but I'm not seeking for God. I'm not that kind of a person. I would rather, why has Gurudev also mentioned about bringing it down to the marketplace? Because if we don't quieten here, if we don't get the oneness of purpose over here, keep our mind steadily towards one goal, work tirelessly, leave no stone unturned. Like Gurudev has mentioned, what is Upasana? You work tirelessly. In one of the commentary of Art of Man Making, I think in chapter 2, Gurudev has said, a difference between Indians and Japanese. Indians talk. I'm an entrepreneur, and I had different kind of nationalities of people, and I have to say Indians are lazy. They're too much into a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment, versus you see the other nationalities, they are more into working. And so Gurudev has mentioned the Japanese people will work tirelessly. So you leave no stone unturned in doing what you're doing. And thirdly, have self-control. Because when we are doing something, suddenly, let's say we have this thing to do. We are supposed to read the 10 chapters of Swami Chinmayananda. Somebody will come and tell you that no, Ramakrishna Mission's Bhagavad Gita is better. Why don't you read that? And then you leave this and you do that. And then you do this and you do that. So you're shifting you're just shifting. You're just getting very impulsive in doing things. So 3 factors which Gurudev has mentioned in secular life. You quieten yourself first here. Aggressive work. I think Swami Shivananda has mentioned, too much of rajas will quieten your mind. Extreme rajas will make a mind quieter. Just the purpose has to be different. So if you see a lot of people from the US during the olden times who joined Hare Krishna, they extreme rajas has made them quieter. So there's nothing wrong in working in secular life, and I think Gurudev has identified this very well, and he's brought it down to the marketplace, saying that you have one pointed thought, at least towards whatever you want to work in marketplace. Work tirelessly towards that. Have a singleness of purpose. And he's also mentioned thoughts alone will create. Thoughts are powerful. Thoughts will move the world. Swami Shivananda's book, Thought Power. Thoughts alone create. A single-pointed man must flow inspiration, enthusiasm, and vigor towards a determined goal and work tirelessly. Not think about it and dream about it and expect things to happen. No, you work tirelessly towards it, leaving no stone unturned. And third is have a self-control. There'll be many distractions. Don't get distractions. So this is what Gurudev has mentioned in the marketplace. And I presume he understands the pulse of the generation, which is probably more inclined towards the Karma Yoga. And hence we do this first for a lot of people, including me. And then when that quietens, the mind needs to quieten. I mean, I don't know how many of us, how many of us have literally really got a Lord as their goal, honestly. And the second shloka talks about the inner disposition of a person. So it talks about the fact that people who are worshipping. So Arjuna is saying that you are worshipping you are saying that you are everywhere, Krishna. Then people who are doing yajnas or who are worshipping all the other idols, other deities, why are they not getting the moksha? So the Lord says that they are also doing it, but what is actually what they want? The mass religion, for example, there's a difference between religion and spirituality. What are we actually praying to God for? I want money, give something to my child, let my this do better. If you ask for that, you will get that. Understand what do you really, really want in your life, your inner disposition, what makes you happy, what motivates you, and what are you actually praying to the Lord for. And hence, probably the whole concept of karma yoga is there. So initially, you do all the yajnas, you get what you want, you quieten yourself. Unless and until you earn and spend, you will never, the desires will always stay. Swami Sarvapriyananda was saying that Swami Vivekananda has said, do not desire, because you may just get it. You may just get what you desire. So that was something which I wanted to say. That's about it. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Subhuji, please.
Hari Om, I just want to add some few thoughts. That's all. Maybe from because the previous speaker, I mean, actually, he was talking about a secular point of view, but from a spiritual point of view, I was trying to connect this with the previous chapter, Akshar Brahma Yoga, where we talked about how to understand that Brahman, which is meditation is the key, and remembering his name in the at the time of birth is the death is because that thought will carry you to the next janma. So you have to either realize, or what you think will so you become kind of an approach. So this is why this sloka is trying to connect to that. You always, the word meaning and other interpretation, previous speakers have nicely explained the yoga and shema. We get lost in these channels, even doing anything. So when we sit in meditation, also naturally, you think about something else, and then oh, what happened to my home in Chennai? Is it some water pipe leakage, as Gurudev was telling in his yajna video, how we desire to have something, and once you have, then it becomes more problem for you actually. Then then the priority of God is lost in this process. So but for us, from a spiritual point of view, because we are in a spiritual class and satsang, so uh, the the divinity is a priority. So are we keeping that divinity as priority? I mean, in my case, probably not. So this was my reflection on this particular sloga, which I think Gurudev has picked 5 slokas from Gita for daily reflection and contemplation, and this is one of that. So we should, as a team, we should probably try to understand and reflect more on this aspect as well, both from a marketplace point of view, which is those 3 points, which is nicely explained by previous speakers, and also from the spiritual point of view of how we can, think about build our, think, not worry about this yoga and shema, and then focus on the total effort in what we do. It could be your daily work, or it could be, for example, if you want to run a marathon, if you put total effort, probably thinking in those 3 lines, you will definitely do that actually, but without any worries. That was my thought process. And also I happened to, because we had Gokulashtami and Krishna Jayanti early this week. So there is a Krishna Avatar audio by Gurudev, which is available in Chinmay. So he, in that one, he was quoting, it was 1.5 hours audio. If you haven't listened it, please, I mean, Gurudev was in a different, he's always different, in a different consciousness or a different experience level, but this one is totally out of the world. But he quotes from Mukundamala, where, in his very in the action way, it says that how in the time of death, where throat chokes and all that happens. This is what the Mukundamala Kulashekar Alva says, that the God thought never comes. You will probably at that time also you'll be worrying about my property. Oh, I haven't given to my son. Where is my key and locker and all that? Why? Because your priority is always elsewhere, so you can't remember God at that time. So maybe with this yoga kshema connect, I was trying to connect to the meditation point, and then thinking that if how to keep divinity as priority always in your day-to-day life also. That will help to achieve that, that goal of being calm at the meditation to start with and slowly progress towards, the next levels. I just wanted to add my thoughts, and that's all. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hariom, Suji, you can share the video on the CSG group if you have that link.
It is by subscription only, Manishji, in Chinmaya Clicks. I think we should all, as a Guru Dakshina, should subscribe to that. It goes to the mission at the end of the day, the contribution. Yeah, it's not very expensive. It's from $15 US or something. We can have a lot of good, nice videos are there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Yeah, Ankit ji.
Hari Om. Shloka 22. Only one word. Ananya. Without others. We know everyone single pointed. In our goal, we have a physical, mental, and intellectual. Every time only our body only class only 1 hour, week 1 only we remember the Bhagavad Gita class. Another time we no remember. Like our like Mirabai. मेरे तो मेरे गिरधर गोपाल बाकी सब कुछ नहीं लाइक सबरी हाउ मेनी टाइम वेट ओनली राम 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 प्रहलाद वॉट एवर कंडीशन कम दे ओनली लाइक ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेव ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेव वॉट एवर कंडीशन लाइक दिस वी इफ वी reach to Bhagavad Gita like this, we need to physical, mental, and every time contemplation the this only word, and then we reach the goal. They mentioned the Guruji, persons who meditate me with me and divide undivided heart. Here the term Ananya is available for more than one interpreter. Like we know everyone, God, devotee, Bhagwan Bhakt ke adhin. When the Sudama reached to Dwarka, Bhagwan everything left and they to come to Sudama like this. We now need to reach our single point and God come to us like this. Hari Om. Hari Om Manish ji.
Hariom, Nandu ji.
Priyo, beautifully explained by everyone. Just would like to add my thoughts. This particular shloka, and even in commentary, it is mentioned like it's not only talking about like Laukika, but Paralaukika as well. And in Gita, several places, Bhagavan already mentioned about it that whatever you do within this life, it will be carried forward for your like next life also. In the 6th chapter, we might have seen that like at the end, Arjuna was asking that question, and Bhagavan says, I will assure that wherever, if you are maybe in like a KG or something, maybe next birth you can start from there. It is not that everything is going to vanish. And very beautifully explained by everyone about the bird, and my thoughts on the Ananyasa Chintoyama Yog Parijana Upasate about the shloka. And in Ramaraksha, the beautiful shloka is coming. Mata Ramo, Matpita Ramachandra, Swami Ramo, Matsaka Ramachandra, Sarvaswamme, Sarvaswamme Ramachandra Dayalu, Nananjane, Nevajane Najane. I don't know anyone else than the Lord Rama. And that's how we should be having like single pointed things on the bhakti on the Lord. And such a person and such people, Yoga Kshemam Mohamam, Bhagavan already mentioned about it. And about the yoga and the Kshema. So I'm taking care of that. We have learned stories from Dr. Sanjay ji as well about Swami Vivekananda ji, when he was like inside the forest and the God has made the arrangement to have a food, and so all that things we have learned. Why such thing is not happening to me? Why it is not happening to in my case? And Meenakshi ji also touch on that point. Do I really doing that thing? Am I Ananya? I'm doing that single pointed thing. May not be like a Monday, and in like our culture, we see that like Monday worship for Lord Shiva, Tuesday for the Hanumanji and all that thing. So we don't do any like a single point thing. And if we are like doing that, and the shloka is concluding with like yoga kshamam mohamam. And if such a person, and Gita already mentioned about in the fourth chapter, such a person, Shraddhavana Lapte Jnana Tatparasayatra Indriyaha. So such a person, it is already made the arrangement to get like a jnana. And once that is done, and the 7th chapter, second sloka, it is talking about, once you know that, then nothing else is required to be known. In 10th chapter, we are going to learn also, and there also Bhagavan is going to mention that Dadami Buddhi Yoga, such a devotee, I'm providing him like a Buddhi Yoga. Even our like prayer, where it is talking about Sarva Dharman Priyataja, like that is everything is about like this only. We know that suppose we have to grow like a plant or maybe any tree or something. So what we do, we just take like a seed, then we put that on in a fertile soil, not maybe on a stone or something where it can grow. So just by putting in the fertile soil, is our job done? It's not. So we have to like water, then provide some manures and all that thing. And after that, then the even like our we are putting like paddy fields and everything. We do all the like a protection of that thing. And once you do that, then only you are going to go for the harvesting thing. And nothing else. I mean, all these steps we have to do. And that's how the upasana is also coming within this shloka also. So by doing all these things, like fertile soil means like doing by like our day-to-day satsang and all. So that's how we are clearing our mind to have like a good thoughts to be shown in our thing. Then by upasana, and once you achieve that, just not by achieving that, we have to protect that. There was, I think, one research, one person maybe he won maybe crores in like crorepati, this serial, and within no time he spent also that money. So what's the use of such thing? So by yoga, that one, and kshema, so just to protect that as well. That is a little my thoughts on the 22nd sloka. On moving 23rd sloka, and here God is talking about like about Anya Devtas, and a lot of people they like do upasana of Anya Devtas, but like wrongly they are doing. And there are some beautiful stories. I mean, actually, already mentioned some of them. And we also, a lot of, many of us, we are doing like a puja of like Lakshmi. And Lakshmi, but we are not realizing that same Lakshmi, she's just like in feet of like a Lord. But we are forgetting to worship that particular Lord. And in these things, there is a story we know about like Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. He mentioned about like people they were like worshipping about like Indra, and Lord Krishna asked all these people to stop that, and there was like flooding within the Gokula. All we are aware of that. In our scripture, there is one shloka is coming, Akasham Patito. So the meaning of that particular thing is like whatever water is falling from the Akasha, at the final, it is going to be go to sea only. That's how if we are worshiping other gods also, that thing is going to Prati Gachat Keshava only. And there is one beautiful story I heard with one of the saintly person. And one person, he was like worshipping one like a deity, which is like a Devi. And by doing that, the Devi, she got happy with his like worship and all. And she asked, okay, what do you want? And this gentleman, he's asking, I need a like a Arabian horse. Whereas the like chariot of that that Devi is like a donkey. So such a Devi, how she will provide the like a horse who is having like the herself as like a Vahana as like a donkey. So that we need to understand. I mean, what exactly we are expecting. We know the story of like a Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, he worshipped like a Lord Brahma and asked, okay, give me such a thing that no one should kill me. He should not be like a man or they like asur. Not should be in daytime, not should be in nighttime. It should not be inside out. It should not be outside. And everything it was agreed. And that's so. And just in the conclusion, we have to just like think to whom we should worship. Hariom, that's my thought on this.
Thank you, Nanduji. Raghu Sharma ji, please, fatafat. Sharma ji, you are there?
हरिओम सबको जन्माष्टमी की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं बधाई हो खूब. See, just 2 days back we had Janmashtami, celebrating birth of Bhagwan Krishna, who has given us Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you look at this shlok of 9th Adhyay, now, as per the Adhyay division, it's in the center. 18 Adhyay we have, so this being in the center. And उसका भी सेंटर में केंद्र में ये श्लोक आता है. अनन्यास चिंतयन्तो माम ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषापि नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. Now, if you take a normal life, we have 4 purushas, right? So Yog Kshem is one of them, and then Dharma, the Kama Moksha. So this is like a river, and Dharma and Moksha is the bank of the river. So if you just take the bank of the river will not go wild and flood the area and finish it off. So similarly, Yoga and Kshem will be taken care. And here Bhagwan gives a very good, a scientific, psychological solution to anything, any other issue we have in life. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. So if you leave everything, have a single pointed focus, then you can achieve what I want to achieve. Yogshema is what nothing. Now, if you see, how do you do the Chintan, Ananyas Chintan, whether it is Ananya or it is many, how do the Chintan is done through the Man. So Bhagwan is done and Man, in the Indriyas, Man itself is Bhagwan. इसके पहले के श्लोक में आया ना करके when Bhagwan is telling कहाँ पर है तो उसमें like Samved and all तो उसमें मन जो इंद्रिय वो भगवान खुद है. So when you are doing that thing, Bhagwan is with you, with us at that particular moment, and then we can achieve. And similarly, there are many shlok and chopa, whether it's Ramayana or it's in अपना ये दुर्गा सप्तशती यत्र ध्याय यम यम चिंतयते कामम तम तम प्राप्त निश्चितम और जो इच्छा करे हो मन माही हरि प्रसाद कछु दुर्लभ नाही. So these are the techniques which God and Bhagwan has given to us. Now here coming back to the Mahabharata, now when Arjun has to fight the war, it is not against the relations as such, it is between the truth and the न्याय अन्याय की लड़ाई है. So Bhagwan has to take care of the Nyaya part of it. And for that Nyaya, Arjuna is a warrior. So if he gives us, then what happens? So he's explaining to him everything, why he should not think on the lines, where should the focus be, and then he can go ahead. Now with the Chintan, or how will you do that, then it comes the next one, And if you don't doing, but with Shraddha you're doing any, किसी भी भगवान की पूजा करोगे आप, तो वो अविधि पूर्वक माना जाएगा. That's what Bhagwan says, So it is, your yatna is that, so the better it is, when he himself says he's a Paramatma, we pray to him. Like if you see Pushti Marg, who, jiske base pe Haveli bani hai Dubai ki, so I know many people of Pushti Marg, they don't even go to other temples. They will just go to Thakurji's temple and back. That's it, period. And they are focusing there, which has been conveyed to them in Bhagavad, to all of us in Bhagavad Gita, and their Acharya convey the same thing. Vallabh Prabhu has given that this is what it is. Only when we have one single focus, only then God can come to us. And see, so many different examples have been given, whether it's Shabri, Prahlad, Mirabai. So there, all these people have been in a single focus. Even our own Guruji. See, when he was going around, and then he met Swami Shivananda, and then in Tapovan Maharaj. So there he got the clear clarity. This is what needs to be worshipped. The entire focus there, and then everything is given to him. So whatever was the objective in Guruji's case was getting the Gyan and then doing the Jnana, which he has done. So if we have to understand that, we have to be very clear from from wherever we are, and then proceed from there. So that Ananya Chintayanto Mam has to be very clear and to be followed accordingly. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Dr. Jadhav, please.
Hari Om. This is one of the oft repeated shlok of Bhagavad Gita. Again, not to be forgotten that it's a part of Rajaguhya Vidya. So a shlok that in a very simple terms appears to say the Lord takes care of everybody and everything at a very, very superficial level. And then when one starts dissecting the words for the sake of Lakshanartha, that is where we come to know the Gambhirata or the depth of the Shloka meaning. There is a condition that the Lord is putting to take care of his devotee. I shall take care of you. I shall give you what you want, and I shall ensure that what you have got will not be taken away from you. Yoga and Kshema, aprapyasya prapti prityarthe yam yam yatnaha kurute. Whatever you shall be doing the efforts to obtain that which you have not yet obtained will form a form of yoga. So I shall help you in that. And once you achieve, you shall always be having a fear of losing it. I shall ensure that you will not lose it. But for that, a condition has been put. Ananyas chintayanto is the condition. Irrespective of whether you are doing any act for me as a target or a goal and objective, or the worldly object as a target or goal or objective, in either case, Ananyas chintayanto mam, Ananyas chintayanto is required. Ananya is the word. A lot of emphasis has been given by the speakers as well as by the Bhagavad Gita as well as by the commentators. How the word has come? Ana, anyaha, ananyaha. Sandhi is ana, anyaha. Anya word itself is a sandhi. A plus nyaha is anyaha. A means not to, prohibitory word. Nyaha comes from nayate, to take somebody somewhere. Na aneya is nyaha. Don't bring, don't carry is a nyaha. In the Vedic terms, the word anyaha at the Vedic times was used for not to bring a durjana to the home. Anyaha, that means don't bring a durjan to the home. Why? He is not one amongst you, he is other. That is how later on by tradition anyaha became word for other. Other means the one who is not welcome. There is a negative connotation associated with the word anyaha, which the English language cannot translate. The word for anyaha in English is other. Other means that which is different, but it is not the only meaning. There is a derogatory sentiment involved in the word anyaha. And ananyaha, there is a dvirukti of negativity. Not doing what not to be done. Not doing what not to be done is ananyaha. Why so much of explanation? Because English is a very weak language when it comes to interpretation in front of Sanskrit. Ananyaha is one word, because Panini Maharaj has described this word in his 3rd chapter of his Ashtadhyayi. Because it is come from Panini Maharaj, the Sanskrit word Ananyaha carries a meaning which only Ananyaha can communicate. For us to know the meaning of Ananyaha, we have to go circuitous route through the English. So Ananyaha, in two ways this Ananyaha can happen. What are the two ways? No one other than me. Anyaha can be only me, nobody else. And me means myself. So thinking of me as self only, as Gurudev has said, and the other is non-separate. Both are indicating upasana. Ananya word has two meanings as said by Gurudeva. Both the meanings, first meaning is me as self and nobody else. And second meaning is not separated, one pointed. Both are pointing to upasana. The first type, when you think that there is no one except me, that means ananya, that means self, that means me as self, is called ahangraha upasana. Grahita, the one who thinks or presumes that he is the Lord, he is the self. I am the Vishnu. This way the upasana can be done. It is called ahangra upasana. It is uccha upasana compared to the pratika upasana. The second upasana, non-separate, is pratika upasana. Putting Bhagavan Shri Ram in front of me in my manasa puja or my physical idol in front of me. In either cases, I focus on these two as no other thing. That means non-separate. Everything is now only and only Lord Sri Rama, which I am holding in my brain, in my thoughts, or in that murti. It is called pratika upasana. So pratikopasana or ahangraha upasana, one who does ananyas chinta. Chinta is reflection. This is a word again prevailing during Vedic period. From the word chit, the word has come. Chinta is to reflect. Unfortunately, we reflect a lot about the worldly things. So the chinta word as worry has come only by transmutation. The original chinta word is chintanam. We must understand that thoughts usually travel in certain stages. First, you think, then you reflect about what you have thought. Reflecting on a thought requires comparative and differential analysis. It is a self-effort in dissecting a singular thought in order to derive differential analytical approach so that the thought can be well thought. This is called chintana. After the chintanam is done, one comes to know the kernel of the thought or the inner core of the thought. That inner core of the thought is the essence of thought process. That essence of thought process, when it is continuously reverberated on the walls of the mind, so that the echo of that thinking process continues to reverberate for a longer period, it is called mananam. And the one who does the mananam is called muni. But that mananam should not be of the samsarika or the worldly things, because Mananam and Chintanam of the worldly things can give us only worldly experience, but it is ultimately going to destroy us because it is preyas. So the one who thinks of the Shreyas, meaning the one who thinks of the Atmajnana and does the Mananam and Chintanam, such a person who does this kind of Mananam is called Muni, because Manana Trayate iti Munihi. And Trayatvata is only in Atmajnana thinking. And that thinking which is done can be done in two ways, as we described earlier. Hey Arjuna, one who thinks of me like this, in this manner of Ananya Chintayantaha, by keeping me as the goal, Mam. So the one whose goal is Mam in the form of Pratik or in the form of Ahangraha. But Mam, not anything else in this world. And what is Mam? Mam is something that is not connected with Trigunas. Because Mam means me, I am beyond the Trigunas. So the one who is able to, not everyone is able to, one who is able to contemplate Upasana upon me in any of these two forms, Ananya, but not only sporadically, on a continuing basis, Taila Dharavat. And it should be in the all aspect. So Upasana has got aspects on all its sides. Pari Upasate is Paryupasate. Paryupasate, Paryu is the Sandhi. Now we are trying to study Sanskrit. Sandhi is something, this is called Swara Sandhi. Pari ends with the Varna E, Pari. Upasate starts with U. When E and U comes together, it becomes a Sandhi called Yana Sandhi. E, U, Ru, Etebhyaha, Varnebhyaha, Yada Asavarna Swaraha Parabhavati, Tada Etesham Sthane, Kramena, Ya, Va, Ra, La, Varnaha, Adeshaha Bhavanti. This is the rule for Yana Sandhi. So, Pari E, Upasate U becomes Paryu. Ya comes in. Yana Sandhi. Paryupasate. Pari means all around. Paricharika. A nurse is called Paricharika. That is again the difference between English and Sanskrit. What is nurse? We don't know how the word has come. Nurse is somebody who nurses the wound. But in Sanskrit, she is the one who takes care of the person all around. Pari, all around. Paricharika. For the welfare of that person in an all-round manner. So Pari, Paryavekshak. We have invigilator in this examination. Pariveksha, the one whose eyes are everywhere is invigilator. Paryavekshak, Pari. So Pari Upasate meaning in all aspects of Upasana, one who is devoted to me without having any diversion of his attention, Arjuna, Tesham, Shashti, Bahuvachan. Tesham, or to all those of them, Nityabhiyuktanam, again Shashti. Nitya Abhiyukta, Nitya constant basis. Taila Dharavat, constant basis. Abhiyukta. Yukta is to join the one who is absorbed in me on a constant basis, in a lively manner. Abhijita, the one who constantly wins. There is a continuity, and the continuity doesn't have any gaps. So satatam. So tesham nityam abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. I shall take care of, as Shankaracharya has mentioned in his commentary, yoga and the kshema. Yoga is what? The desire to obtain something is always there in the one who has a desire because he is incomplete. A complete one has no desire. So Brahma or Atman has no desire. Desire is sin kanan of upadhi. Maya, in the Maya, realm of Maya, those delimited adjuncts or upadhis or jivas who are there shall always be having Ichha Shakti as a desire that is being thrown. You shall continue to desire till you become God, because God is desireless. That is the reason why a Sufi asks, Ye tamanna hai ke azade tamanna rahu. Lord, my prayer is to become desireless, is my desire. This in Shastriya Samvad, it is called Samvadi Brahma. When this Yogakshemam Vahamyam is there, can I sit absolutely relaxed saying that he will take care of me? The experience is he doesn't take care of me. That means he takes care of us through two ways. For the Jnani, he has a different rule. For the Ajnani, he has a different rule. We all are Ajnani. So for us, the rule is very simple. The Lord shall help, provided it will be done through the self-effort. When we want to really try hard in examination, who gives the guarantee that the success will be coming to him? One who works hard gets good marks in the examination. Who brought this rule? This is because the Lord is making this rule happen, that the one who is working hard, his yoga and kshema, the success in examination, shall be looked after by me. All the universal and fundamental rules of karma and karma phala is the greatest gift of Lord to all the incomplete jivas. If I keep propitiating Lord Krishna and I realize that Krishna never comes, I'll be completely lost. But call him from the bottom of the heart and he will come. Is yoga kshemam arranged by the Lord through the self-effort of the bhakta. However, for the jnani, since the ahankara is completely gone, since nishkama karma is the nature of such a person, the Lord does not ask also to do any effort. He does the effort for the sake of the devotee. A classical example is of Draupadi. Much after the Mahabharata, when they were sitting sometime in the evening, relaxing in the Raja Prasad, Draupadi asked Krishna that, Lord, you helped me, but why did you compelled me to go through such a heinous act of somebody taking away my clothes? You should have come immediately and stopped whatever happened. And the Lord said, Putri, when your clothes were taken off, what were you thinking? You thought of your husbands first, looked at them, they will save you. Then you Challenge the consciousness of the people present, thinking that somebody will come and save you. I was still there in Mathura watching you. The moment you said that now there is only Krishna and nobody else can save me, instantly I was there. What happened to the Yogakshema? The first was with the self-effort. The second one was because a Jnani recalls the Lord with Nishkam Antakarana. At that point of time, it becomes imperative on the part of the Lord, or the compulsory on the part of the Lord to take care of the Bhakta. The moment Bhakta Prahlada was thrown into the fire, it is Lord's duty to save Bhakta Prahlada, not Bhakta Prahlada's duty to even request. That is called Adhikar. Jnanottara Bhakti Sampanna Adhikari, Bhakta Pundalik, even asked Vitthal to wait. Because I'm tending to my parents, you better wait. You may be Vitthal. Tukaram Maharaj had authority to even call Vitthal by a very bad first name, Vitya. It is a slang for Vitthal. But Tukaram Maharaj used it and also told Vitthala that Vitthala, what is your value? You have no value if I am not there, because I am the Bhakta. That's why you have some value. That is called Bhakta Adhikar. For such Bhaktas, Bhagavanta looks after the Yogakshema. He doesn't have to do any self-effort. All the people of the village, they immersed whatever was written in the praise of Lord Vitthala. Entire scripture or whatever written by Tukaram Maharaj was thrown into the river. And Tukaram Maharaj felt very offended that I was praising Lord, and what is this? The Lord had to come. Even the paper which could have dissolved in the water was taken out, and the whole thing was given back to Tukaram Maharaj. And this could happen because a Jnani's Yogakshema is looked after by the Lord, for the Ajnani's Yogakshema is looked after by Lord through self-effort. So those stupids who feel that Lord will look after me and they are in the fool's paradise. And that is why consistency of willing and thinking and pouring out ourselves with singleness of the purpose in meeting the situation in all its entirety are the main secrets that are revealed here. Rajaguhya Yoga. Vadanti Shastrani Yajantu Devata Bhajantu Devani Atma Ekkena Bodha Vinapi. The mukti is not possible only by reading scriptures. Panditya is possible. A powerful oratory is of no consequence unless the effort is poured into what is happening. And that is why the secret that is told in Rajaguhya Adhyaya is, whatever you do, it is the Lord that is making it happen. The biggest dacoity also is by Lord's blessing. Because those dacoits are using extreme power of concentration, alertness, subtleness. All that requires enormous concentration. And when concentration is there, it is upasana done in a wrong way. A corrupt person does a lot of upasana in hiding what he has actually taken as a corruption. There also he is able to do it because of the Lord only. Although the intention, the process is completely adharmi. That is why one has to understand that concentration in day-to-day life and concentration in upasana for the Atmagyan differs only in the intensity. The process remains the same. And that is why spirituality must and always starts at day-to-day life. I am diabetic. I have been told not to eat sweets. But what to do? I feel like, the other day the uncle came and he brought some sweets and I ate. You do not have the determination of the mind, the nishchaya, even for your own sake of your own health. What determination you will have when you will sit in dhyana? How can you do dhyana? Impossible. While cooking one particular vyanjan in the kitchen, 10 utensils are dropped and 10 times the sound is made because there is no focus. Either the milk will boil over. If you cannot concentrate on your day-to-day things, you cannot do with concentration. There is no scope, no hope of doing higher concentrations. That's why Lord says, whether you are worshipping the lesser gods, and when we say lesser gods, the same almighty consciousness which is there in the Brahma or Atma manifests as Upadhi with higher powers compared to us. As compared to an ant, we are godlike because we have lot of manifestations of Lord's consciousness compared to an ant. But compared to us, we are ants compared to the deities like Lakshmi, Saraswati, Brahma, Indra, Vishnu. Singular potencies of consciousness given divine duties. Surya Devata, divine duty of providing light. Surya is Deva, Devata. So if I propitiate Surya Devata, I shall also become somebody similar to Surya Devata. And one day Surya Devata is also going to get over in life. I shall also get over. A further lesser god than that, lesser blessings will be done. Are we not worshipping Lord Lakshmi when we are constantly struggling and striving to make more money, and we really get more money? Means Lakshmi Mata is prasanna and we do Lakshmi Pujan in Diwali. It is worshipping the lesser deity, getting the lesser returns, lasting for a lesser time. Ye api A plus A becomes double A. So, ye api anya devata bhakta yajante, those who worship others, Shraddhaya, Trutiya Vibhakti, instrumental case. With the help of Shraddha, those who worship lesser gods, Anya Devata, te api mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Arjuna, that concentration which he is doing while studying for the exam or while doing a dacoity is the same concentration I need to obtain me also. Only thing is that is unit of 2, I require 2000 concentration. But the type of concentration, intensity and magnitude varies. The type is essentially same. So when they are asking for the lesser favors, the request and the application given to the district level for allotting a land, it's same as the application given to the Prime Minister for the land. Only difference is Prime Minister will allot you a couple of acres of land, while the district collector will give you only 1 acre of the land. Application remains the same. Concentration remains the same, the intensity varies. That is why those who do not understand that instead of worshipping these district collectors, it is better to directly reach to the Prime Minister. Instead of worshipping the Devatas, it is better to directly do the Upasana of the Nirguna Brahma than getting caught into Saguna Brahma, Vishkaras or Vibhutis and becoming that Vibhuti, which is again time bound. Maybe billions of years, far bigger than a human life, but still limited, Santa, not Ananta. That is why, Arjuna, I call that one as Avidhi Purvakam. without having the knowledge of what he is doing. Nothing wrong with doing the materialistic thing in life. Lord is not against that. He is against the fact that, please understand, you are struggling for 80 long years to make your life beautiful by earning a lot of things. It is adorable. But there is something much more adorable. Same act you do. Run behind the money. Here you run behind the Lord. That is little more difficult than what you are doing. But I can assure you, your running will not be of any significance because you will be born again. Once you run to me, there is no further birth. So Arjuna, please stop avidhi purvakam puja, and what you do? Ananyas chintayanto mam paryupasate. Nitya abhiyukta. Be nitya abhiyukta. Nitya paryupasate. Ananyas chintayanta purvakaha. Mom, only me. That is where your welfare is. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Very nicely. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः We now go to the Chinmaya pledge. We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly, the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lords of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.